Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today are
The Little King.
And Rye.
Decade is on vacation, so I will be doing his normal part. So bear with it if it's terrible.
Shout out to Decade. Miss you, buddy.
The episode starts with Umika and Kairi walking back from the store. Umika's kind of irritated because Kairi's not helping. He's literally just carrying a bag of chips and eating it, which I think is hilarious.
Typical.
Because she's literally going, "Why don't you carry something?" And he literally just hands up a bag of chips and goes, "But I am."
I got Go-Gadger flashbacks.
They come up on kids playing basketball. Kairi looks at it kind of longingly, causing Umika to ask if he likes basketball. He stands there for a minute, then says, "Not really." Then they head back to the cafe, where Goody tells them that Noel is in trouble at a secret place Lupin made for his favorite piece, Lupin Magnum. And then we get the opening. Thoughts?
Interesting. Like I said earlier, I like the Go-Gadger flashback. And it just cuts to the chase. It's like, you're gonna see this later, but right now we gotta focus on fucking Noel could be dead. So let's get a move on, people. Short, sweet, to the point. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, it makes sense that Kyrie wouldn't be a big fan of basketball right now, considering it was the thing that caused him to get into an argument with his brother before his brother fucking died. So, yeah, some not good feelings there.
I feel... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, aside from that, the idea that Lupin had a favorite collection piece that he built a dungeon to contain it is amazing. It's like Shaolin Showdown level stuff right there.
To me, this is too antiquated to Dragon Ball. This is Goku constantly going out and finding the four-star ball just to make a hat. But, like, I get the basketball things, like, from both sides of it, because, like, he seemed to like it, even if it was just him trying to be his brother. So it kind of makes sense that he would like it, but also is that, no, I'm good. After the opening, we get the episode title, The Legendary Gun. Cuts to DeGranio's mansion, where he points out that Ketobero has been on the move. And Goss basically points out that he's a gun nut. Destra doesn't understand why a gangler would want human weaponry. Goss says it's not because it's practical, it's because it's fun. Which is a very odd thing for her to say.
What? We know that Gosh likes playing with toys.
Yeah, her toys are living things.
Living, deadly, wanting to kill you as soon as they look at you things.
And to her, it's the same concept. You're playing with a toy.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Ketobero breaks through a wall at a gun show with a bunch of stolen guns. He calls them cuties, which is actually important. And the Pat Rangers show up, Keisatsu change, roll call, and begin fighting. The scene changes to the thieves, who, might I point out, took the time to change before going to save their friend's life.
This is Arsene Lupin we're talking about. You don't go if you don't dress in style.
They could have just grabbed it and took them with them.
This is also their getting shit.
Caught them.
This is also their getting shit done outfit. Like, it's probably designed for flexibility and endurance or shit, whatever. I don't know.
Their chef aprons, not so much.
Like, literally through all of this, that's my only gripe still, because it makes no fucking sense. It's like they're special retarded masks that nobody can tell who they look like. But they end up in the woods / kind of cliffy area, and Goody points out that there's a hidden door in the boulder. where Kairi finds the Lupin emblem. Very good at hiding things, Lupin. Just let me tell you.
To be fair, you
Fucking
can't open that without a collection piece, so...
well, that's fair, but still, you're doing a terrible job of hiding shit if you're putting your name on it.
I mean, anyone else walks by and they see his name on a rock and go, what's up with that? Why would someone just write their name on a rock? They wouldn't go, it must be a door.
Well, if it's carved into it, you would. Like, if it's etched into that, like, to that level of detail, you might think something's up with that rock. Either that or that person really loved a rock. I don't know. It just didn't. It was just something that pointed out and stuck with me. But Kairi uses his dial fighter on it and unlocks it. They're Umaga gets Goody to tell them about traps since he's already been here before. Kairi spots a plaque with a French word on it. Goody tells him to be careful because the floor gives away, and instead a giant boulder rolls to the room, taking out Goody. Hey, look, the traps are different. Lupin's an asshole.
A clever asshole, but one nonetheless.
Yeah, this whole setup is pretty insane. The fact that he even tricked Goody on this, too, shows his level of dedication.
Like, he went out of his way to go, yeah, I don't care if you make it to the end, you're gonna go through some shit again. Which, that's a nice touch to somebody who doesn't want his gun taken. It cuts back to the PatoRangers, and they're in a shootout with Kidobero, whose collection piece makes walls pop out of the ground. And his personal power makes guns more powerful. By specifically, his personal power controls the oxygen in the air.
Bigger boom.
Yeah, pretty much. He basically destroys the dome skylighty thingy that the PatoRangers are hiding inside of, or using for cover, and then his shoulder gets excited because it's a skeleton dog.
So, Kerobero, if you don't know, is basically the Japanese pronunciation for Cerberus.
Yes. Despite the fact that he only has 2 heads in this.
Shh.
But
it's Once Upon a Time rules.
bad flashbacks. But it the head on his shoulders, gets excited, and he smells his favorite kind of cutie and takes off. At which point the PatoRangers give chase. They don't catch up in time. The thieves go through several traps with Kairi spotting a French word at each one, and finally reach Noelle and the Magnum. Noelle is laid out on the ground, but not dead. Kairi asks Tuma about the French words he saw, and Tuma translates them as "break your shackles." At which point the trap ensnares each of them in an illusion, each one in their own illusion, with the person they are trying to save. They each realize it's an illusion and each tries to get them to give up being a thief because of them. They all try to shoot their way out, and it doesn't work. Noelle wakes up during this, and he's fine, but kind of disappointed that they fell into the trap too. After it fails, they each realize what they must do to get out of the trap. And Umaka and Tuma refuse to shoot the person they are trying to save and fall victim to the actual harm of the trap, which is basically a bunch of magic arrows shooting them. Kairi's brother continues to get him to give up the path, triggering another comparison flashback to Keiichiro. And Kairi says that he has not shoot it for chivalry, and that more than anything he has ever imitated in his brother, being a phantom thief suits him most, and that no matter what, he'll get his brother back his own way and shoots his brother.
I was born to be a phantom thief. Honestly.
Emo stage to the extreme!
I enjoyed the little shootout that the PatoRangers had this episode because it's more their specialty with the cop theme. And Sakuya got that really cool shot off. The whole puzzle thing, Like, I was not sure if the answer was or was not to actually shoot them. And for a moment, I thought that, like, what if Kyrie is the one that fails? Like, what happens to him then? But then it turns out that failing just makes you pass out for a couple hours. So, not really much of a threat, actually.
Do you have anything, King?
King?
Sorry, my mic got fucked up for a minute. I kind of like the idea of this was, do you really want to do this? It's sort of a test of just how far they're willing to go, you know? I mean, they've said time and time again for months now that the thieves are dedicated. They don't care what people think of them, they don't care what they have to do. As long as they reach their goal, they don't give a shit. But now it's sort of the final test of just how far is too far. And while I understand they do have what they need to do, this shows that they do still have limits. Like, Umika, obviously, we've said time and time over that she's the weak link. Not a bad character, but when push comes to shove, she's probably the one that screwed it up. And Talma, of course, he's the big brother. He has to stand strong, but even he has his limits. But the reason they made Kairi the red is the. I know I don't like doing the red thing, that they're always the main guy, but there's a reason they personify Red as the leader, as the main character, because they're the ones that push the limits and personify what it is that team can be and is. That is what Kyrie did with this, and that is what I can appreciate.
Yes, all of that.
And it's done really, really well, especially with like this type of little trial thing that they do. Because it shows that, well, yes, they're willing to do anything, there's still that one thing that they won't do. They won't harm what they're trying to save. And the way Tuma worded it perfectly, even if you're not real, I cannot shoot you. So it shows the depth of which Kyrie's conviction is, and he didn't even so much as put it as, yes, I'll shoot you because it furthers my goal. It was quite literally, I know this is what I have to do.
I don't care if you hate me for it. I'm doing it because it's for you.
And because it's it's the path I chose. Because it wasn't so much that he chose, that Kogure chose them, because, well, yes, that's true, but they still chose the path of the thieves. Because they could have easily went, no, you know, stealing is wrong, regardless of why you're doing it. So the fact that Kyrie's basically willing to go, screw it all, I'm going to see this all the way to the end, fits with him being the red. And so I'll move on now. The glass breaks around the Magnum, and Kyrie picks it up, claiming that he beat Lupin. I have no other word for how I'm going to describe this, so if anybody has a better one, feel free to let me know.
What's up?
A hologram appears of Lupin.
Yeah, that's how I would describe that.
Saying that Kyrie has shown his dedication to being a phantom thief and entrusts the collection piece to Kyrie.
How did a guy from like the early 1700s or whatever make hologram? I don't know. How did he get collection pieces in the shape of vehicles that didn't exist for another few hundred years?
And thus we turn back around to, it's Sentai, don't question it.
Oh, come on. It's not there's no answer. There's an answer to this. And it's literally Sentai. We have a Sentai that travels through time.
That doesn't mean Lupin can travel through time.
Who's to say? Literally, the collection pieces are all from Sentai.
So,
Yes, but how does that relate to him?
so he steals one of the fighter jets from Time Ranger, is what you're saying.
I mean, it's a possibility. Or hitched a ride.
Okay, I'll be honest, my Time Ranger knowledge is a little shaky, but I still feel pretty certain they never traveled back in time.
That's the start of the series.
Well, they technically do.
Besides that,
Uh, I don't know about Time Ranger, but in Time Force Power Rangers, they travel back to the dinosaur period at one point.
they did, and to different movies, but that one's another story.
And if my memory serves me correct, time travel in Sentai is nothing new.
It
Even beyond
isn't,
Time Ranger.
but even
Oh
with
my,
Time Ranger, they only went ever as far back as 2001. No, not that's Time Force. 2000. They never went farther back.
they've literally been going to fucking Oh wait, no, that might be Kamen Rider. I'm thinking of that constantly goes back to the samurai village.
Oh, that's Kamen Rider that keeps doing that.
Okay.
Deno,
Oh,
O's,
nice.
Zio just did it. Fucking Gaim did it.
O's did it.
Uh,
Double did it in show, not even in the movie.
oh god, that's right. That was a dream episode though. But yeah.
But a funny one.
Yeah, that's Ryder that keeps doing it. For some reason, Ryder is obsessed with the Edo period.
To be fair, so was Sentai at a certain point. Let's not forget Goanger and or Shinkenger.
I think what throws me off the most with, or why that stuck with me so much, was freaking Ninja did it, but that was literally plot wise. It had nothing to do with time travel. It was quite literally, look, hey, look what Toei did and had a special place built as basically a giant studio. Um, I did want to point out that Noel looks kind of sad when he sees Lupin. And it's a very strange look and really out of place, depending on theories. Which I'll circle back to that. The cave collapses and they escape as Kerberos shows up. He points out that he points out that is the cutie he's been looking for. Juma questions it, and Umika just assumes he meant her.
To be fair, she's the only girl there.
Yes, to be fair. And is disappointed when Noel went, he means the gun.
Damn.
So that scene we were talking about from the preview of Umika's weird face was her smiling at the fact that she was called a cutie, but she wasn't.
I've already eaten the crow in my theory last week. No need to point it out.
No, you had a very valid thought because of the way everything was portrayed. It looked like it could have been that the cops saw the thief's identity. However,
But I also forgot about the preview trip-ups, which happens every damn year.
But yeah, I'm guessing that when they do find out, that'll be the subject of the next episode preview. What's up?
It helps if I don't mute things.
That's what I thought might have happened.
But that was literally almost the problem with this episode. Is because when they got to the Lupin Magnum, they all took the masks off. At which point, as soon as they henshined and transformed, literally the cops showed up.
Honestly, like, when they took the mask off, I went, why?
It's freaking close!
Like, it made no sense. Like, legitimately, that was the dumbest thing about this episode, is that the fact they take the masks off for no reason.
Like, it was probably for the actors' faces, but then they probably should have put them back on when facing the Gangler, because that's kind of their thing.
Right, and let's face it, they're not stupid. So it's not like they took them off and, like, threw them on the ground.
The only reason they didn't put them back on is because they read the script and knew they wouldn't get caught.
It's like it. It's one of those things like where it's a small thing to nitpick, but it's annoying because this is the type of thing that would never happen in any other circumstance because they're not this stupid.
It's just one
Kind of like
flaw in writing, though. Like, I can
right,
overlook it.
right, and it's a necessary thing too. Just like Umika dropping her gun when they were turned to kids.
Umika
With
would do that, though.
right, but it would have been noticed well before it became a problem by Tuma. It wouldn't have been one of those, oh crap, the cops found my gun. It would have been, oh crap, there's my gun. And then, oh shit, there are the cops. But they Kaito change and roll call, which is nice. We actually got both of them this episode. And start whooping ass on the gangler. Tuma uses magic and Umika uses splash, which point the Pat Rangers show up and untransformed, and they're a little pissed off about uh, the collection piece. Or at least Tsukasa seems to be, anyways. Kairi uses Lupin Magnum to get through Kerberos' wall. Does it a few times, knocks him on the ground. Tuma grabs the Gangler's collection piece, and then Kairi uses the Magnum for the finisher, stealing Super Strike. Go shows up and revives him.
Hey, I just realized something.
What's that?
Remember when Noel first gave magic to the thieves and Tsukasa went, huh, why wouldn't he have used it for himself? And we thought they were setting something up with that, and they weren't.
Yeah. I'm still disappointed that nothing has come of that.
I'm disappointed that besides this episode, they're not getting on with the damn story.
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
me I'm wrong.
No, this series has been mostly just like one-offs. Basically, you could call it all filler, though. I don't know. Filler is technically like the story wasn't advanced, so there are some arguments to be made about character development counting. But yeah, mostly like the actual plot is the same as when it started. We took a detour for Ryman, and now we're back on track.
And nothing from Zamingo or Kogure or
That
Noel. Give us
Right.
something here.
I was telling King about this the other day. I've lost interest in Zamigo. He hasn't done anything to stay relevant.
Literally, all he's done is show up. This is what episode. Shit. Helps if I check it.
Down at
This is episode 34. Episode 34. He's been in what, 3 episodes?
Like, they set him up as a really good antagonist because, oh, hey, he's the one that put the thieves in this position. And he seems like the type to have some sort of master plan. But then he hasn't done anything except tell Ryman to piss off.
Like, quite literally, at this point, the only purpose for him to be around now would literally to make him the Don. And then get his ass kicked.
Even in the intro, like, when it does the shot of the Ganglars, it has the trio, and then it has him behind them, looming over them like a shadowy figure. Like he's the real mastermind in the background.
And
But
they haven't done shit with
He
him.
hasn't been that. He is like the opposite of evil. We have too little of him.
Even freaking Kogure or Noel, I take something. Like, they literally shafted us with Noel this week.
Yeah. But at least you had some eye candy a little bit, King.
I'm never gonna complain about that, but come on, people!
But no, it's like they've been... This show's been fantastic. I'm not going to argue that. But it's been really, really non-story heavy.
Yeah. The show, I love the show, and it's still one of my top 3. With that being said, the show hasn't evolved at all. It hasn't been, but it hasn't been story focused. It didn't need to be, I think, is kind of the point here. Like,
Right, because because even with it just being basically one-off episodes, there's still character development, and that development sticks around. It's not solely just for the episode. They've been building on it.
Keiichiro is a different character than the show started with.
Right. And even Kairi and Tuma are different than from when they started. Umika, not so much. But
Same could be said for Sakuya.
But they've both seen growth. It wasn't just, here we go. It didn't go that ninja route of character development, and truthfully, it didn't even go the Kyuranger route, which wasn't nearly as bad. So the character development in all this has been phenomenal. Story has gotten kind of extremely samey.
I think that was kind of maybe their mission statement. Make it about the characters. Don't just make it Red His Amazing Friends.
Right, which is
again, not a sidekick.
It's like, and they do just enough to keep you interested too, into what's actually going on. Which I'll continue this real quick because there's not much left. Go shows up and revives Kerberos. They call Lupin Kaiser and Ex-Emperor Slash. There's a bit of a tussle. Lupin Kaiser uses splash magic, and X changes to gunner mode, and they use the Lupin Magnum to finish off. They use magic, which puts Kairi in the hand of the mech, firing the Lupin Magnum, because Goody says it's because everybody wants to see what the new piece can do. Back at the cafe, Kairi asks to hold on to the Lupin Magnum, since Lupin pretty much gave it to him, instead of putting it in the book, and he agrees, and then leaves. On the side, outside of the cafe, he seems extremely creepy, pointing out the fact that he didn't expect Kairi to be this good. And then Umika tries to get Kairi to let her use Lupin Magnum, at which point when they play around with Noelle looking on, kind of wistful. Episode end.
King, take it away.
Thank you. Kogure still creeps me the fuck out. Him, Go, Shinzamigo, the three of them creep me out. I mean, despite my earlier tangent, no matter how little of a story or development they may have gotten, they all still creep me out. He just made it worse. But that part with Noelle watching them play got me thinking. Now, this is completely out of left field, I admit, but watching that the way he did, maybe Kairi isn't the only one with a sibling he wants back. Particularly since he's very fond of Umika.
Wait. What?
It's just a theory, but maybe the person Noelle's looking for is a sibling of his, too. Might even be a little sister, since he seems pretty fond of Umika. But
okay, that's what you meant.
Sorry. I can words, people, honestly.
That's an interesting theory. Honestly, I do like how, since they're not going to tell us who Noelle wants back anyways, how they covered it up showing us his dream state by being like, oh hey, yeah, he forged ahead to get a collection piece. Yeah, that's something he would do. Like, legit. So, everything was just in line with his character. They didn't have to, like, force anything. I again enjoyed the shootout, this with the thieves against Kerberos. Especially since Lupin Magnum can just shoot through his rock walls. The finisher where Kairi is standing out on the mech hand kind of bothers me, because what about that situation powered up Lupin Magnum? since he input the same code. Just a weird thing that happened.
That's what magic did.
Magic did that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, logistically, that's the explanation for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I mean, let's be fair, magic made a giant fucking bone.
Yeah, Magic's rules are just like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever's funny.
I do like that
Like,
Tuma and Umika were fighting grunts while Kairi handled the Ganglar, but then when he knocks him over, Tuma swipes in for the collection piece steal. Like, let's just grab this real quick and move on.
and that fits with his character. The fact
Yeah.
that he's always kind of aware of what's going on. Like he seems the type to actually pay attention to the battlefield.
Like, alright, here's the opening. Good job, Red.
Like I have my theories for no, and this episode kind of pushes me towards one in particular.
Which is?
That he's related to Lupin.
Right.
Because with them going so hard not to show us anything involving why that Noel is doing any of this, because did he even input that he wanted to save somebody?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh,
but there's no
he told it to the thieves back during the Ryman incident to get them to trust him. Saying, I also have someone I want to save. And then he told it to Keiichiro when he told him, like, we're we're not going to lose the opportunity to get
okay.
them back or something like that.
Um, I and this is why the wibbly wobbly time travel bullshit works for this. Because I think he is directly related to Lupin, and he wants to get Lupin back. It would explain his creepy sad stare at Lupin's hologram.
It would also explain how he knows so much about the collection pieces. And it would explain why Koguri was so willing to give up his checkbook for him.
And do pretty much everything that he has asked. To the point of, hey, I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm still not completely sold on Kogure and Gosh being the same person.
I am less sold on it after this. Well, actually, after the next episode preview specifically. Because the way this one went, Koguri was definitely acting suspicious at the end of this episode.
Oh, like the end of this episode would have been perfect to do the whole Kogure is Gosh thing. Perfect setup. But
like
for
if
it to
if we
switch
saw him
to
just shoot a portal to walk into that, but instead he keeps walking normally. So that
right,
combined
it's
with
like
the next episode preview, okay, he's probably not Gosh.
right, it's like, but that would have been badass for them to have done that. And like I said, it's like through everything that they've done, it would have fit. It would have explained why Goody's so terrified of him. It would have explained a little bit more of the leverage that Noel has over Kogode and everything else. Because with him, at that point, the only other thing is he's just
He's just somewhat you cut out there.
some magic old dude who can put, discolored Sentai items in a book.
Yeah, and you know what? In the end, if that's all he ends up being, then that's fine. Seems like they could have done more with his character, but if he's just the guy that's there to be there, then you know what? They didn't do anything bad with him yet.
Like my issue with the only issue I have with that is like, to me, that would undersell the payoff, because it'd be one of those, because we had this buildup of there's something going on with him, and if nothing's going on, it's gonna be, well, I wanted something to be going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it works for a bait, for like that, the standard bait and switch type of thing.
Like in
Of,
this
here's the
show,
way you think it's gonna go. No, it goes this way. It's like, but yeah,
where you have multiple you don't just have like the good guys versus bad guys. You have like multiple factions working towards different goals here. Why not cash in on that? Kogure is actually like got his own plan. Noel has his own plan. Noel's whole plan is mostly just helping the thieves, but still,
while lying to cops.
that there's
But I
like
mean,
the gimmick.
but like, I mean, they have one basically working both sides of the angles there. Why is it so? Why would it be so bad for them to do basically Kogure working both sides, ganglers versus the thieves? You know, because even with it being Ghost, is like, I can even validate that if Kogure is Ghost, for the simple fact of, for her to win, what's the easiest thing to do? Collect all the collection pieces.
It would make perfect sense too. She hires She uses her binoculars to scan out some good thief candidates, hires Zamigo to take out their loved ones to give them incentive, and then sends them on their way.
Right, and then uses the collection pieces to power herself up.
Oh, hey, boss, can I borrow some collection pieces? Thanks. Oh no,
crap.
they were stolen.
Or one of those, oh crap, I need this one that looks like a cell phone. That gangler over there has it. Hey, why don't you go fuck some shit up? Oh, you got your collection pieces sold? Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
You know, it's like every aspect of that works perfectly and would make Ghost come out on top. Which would be a nice touch, since they've never done that female commander who's actually a badass.
Yeah.
And more thought out than the main villain.
Right. Good female generals that were evil. That chick from Shinkenger that kept her boyfriend trapped in her loot for like 10,000 years.
Yeah, that's about the only one. But even then, she didn't really do much.
No. There was
She pretty much just played the loop.
the one from Gokaiger, who was just kind of awesome because she didn't take shit from the male characters.
It just got chased around by Jelashito.
She didn't really do much, though. Female generals get a bad rap, which is one thing that pleases me about Gosh, is that she's actively doing things and being seen as a threat. My question here is that I couldn't excuse in most situations when she shows up that she shows up in an inconvenient or random place that they can't just immediately attack her. Here, she literally showed up in like good aiming the fire zone for the thieves. Like how they didn't just open fire right away.
Well, the last time she showed up in a good firing range, Noel made them leave. And the we're kind of fucked kind of mentality that they could just be remembering off that.
Okay. I can understand that if they're also, like, terrified of Gosh.
Like, I want that. I want that female commander who's well, yes, Ghosh is there to make the monsters larger. That's what she does. That's her power. It's not so much. That's not her only purpose. That's what's been irritating me with Sentai lately. Is that's all they ever are. Just like in Kamen Rider, where the female writers in that show are destined to be killed.
Yeah, the character that makes them
And
grow
or
big should
lose
have
their power.
more to contribute than just that. A good example of this is Lucky Roo from Kyoryuger, where he was also like a child character on the enemy team, and he offered unique perspectives at times. Such as this one episode where he's told to create the monster of the week, and it's just this evil teacher.
That puts him through hell, which I thought was funny.
Or other times where he just like is out on the field watching everything happen.
Like he didn't do much, but he was actually involved. Usually with Cinderella stuff, but still, he actually served a purpose beyond just making the monsters big.
And that's what makes Gashir so great, is she's also doing that.
So, any final thoughts? This up.
Nah, not on my end. I mean, it was a good time all around.
Yeah, this was a really good episode. Thought provoking. Kind of progresses the story a bit. It makes you wonder what Koguri is really up to, if anything. And especially with the next episode preview, which will assuredly disprove that theory that he's Gosh.
This episode was really based on the previews for it. I wasn't expecting an emotional episode. This was kind of an everything from Kyrie, you know, looking longingly at the basketball court, remembering his brother, to the illusion worlds that they got stuck in, trapped. It's rather, emotional as like seeing them overcome that, or in the case of Kyrie and Imuka and Tuma failing it. It was kind of heart wrenching to watch. It's like and it's one of those things. Is like it shows like you don't need this massive ass overplot that has to be progressed every week or so. If the characters and the stories you're progressing with the characters solely are good enough to stand on their own, and they are. The show is nothing if not phenomenal with character storytelling, and I love it.
There doesn't need to be like constant new twists that change the game every 6 to 8 episodes. Build.
Like, and I'm okay with the fact that there hasn't had a need to be a constant. Hey, here's a new collection piece connection.
Oh
Well,
god.
yes, there has been that for the most part for the majority of the last 34 episodes.
You know what that just reminded me of? Operation
Ranger.
Overdrive.
Ah,
Like, what a terrible attempt at adapting Bokenger.
We do not talk about those horrors.
but like, I'm okay with the fact that yes, we're 34 episodes in, and there's been quite a few collection piece add-ons for the mech, but they've been split between two mechs, so it's not. It's been a
sort of.
I mean, for the most part, it's like but it's gone. Like, here's one for Pat Kaiser. Here's one for Lupin Kaiser, and then there have been a few weeks where there wasn't any new collection piece like that, which I like the fact that it's not mech heavy while still being, mech. I don't know how to word that the way I intend it.
Not every collection piece matters, which is kind of like the anti Ninja, right?
Yeah. Yes. And then that's what I feel like is like, well, yes, every collection piece matters in the overall grand scheme of things.
Like,
It's not, oh crap, we have something new to showcase this week because we have a monster that got defeated.
nah, it's just, oh hey, here's one that we can just straight up use. Kogori, we can use this one, right? Yeah. Why do you even bother asking? Keep using that.
It's one of those like, does it fit in your gun? It's like, and everything like in the rest of the collection pieces are, ooh, look at the pretty Sentai things. Because I
Or
mean, today's was literally fucking the Tenso fucking things from Ghost Ager.
They were not
oh,
even trying this
They
time.
didn't. They didn't try at all with this one.
at first I thought it was like some kind of mini Eastern Island head statue,
So did everyone else when the scans came out.
but yeah, it was the Tensoders.
Like to me, it's like this Gokai Cell Dino bracelet.
You cut out. Like start over.
Ah,
Mr.
the
Robot again.
but this the Gokai Cellular and the bracelets from PatoRanger were the
Uh,
three most obvious.
nah, the shuriken from Ninja. That was pretty obvious when I saw it because it was like, what else would that be?
Well, I mean, in fairness, they altered that one.
Yeah,
They
they did.
they had the little stand for it.
Did
I
they?
think for me the most obvious one was the Frankenmonster Ghost Maid, and it had all 5 of the morphers. Not just the Gokaiger one, all 5 of them. It's like, guys, you're not even trying.
Magi Ranger stood out so hard.
Oh,
So they
and the
should have gone.
genie lamp.
Yeah, but it's like the Franken Monster had one of the easier collections because it was literally, hey, look, we've had 5 Sentais that all have the same type of device that they use to transform. Let's make a monster using all of them.
One
And
of the
it was
more
one of
like
those.
hard to pick out ones though was the Bioman ribbon one or whatever Sentai.
Yeah, the ribbon and some of the watches, because some of the watches were kind of hit or miss on which one it was. Because they changed the colors of them, took all the identifying markings off of that.
And when you use the same gimmick for a decade.
So, I guess on that note, it's time to say goodbye.
Alright. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more Kamen Rider Zeo, and next week for more LupinRanger versus PatoRanger. It's gonna be a weird episode next week. I'm just gonna tell you now.
Adieu. And later, taters.
Thank you all for joining and listening. Hopefully, Decade gets back soon because I know my voice is terrible. And I try to make bad jokes, so I apologize. But hopefully, Decade's enjoying his vacation, and when he gets back, this will all sound normal again. See you guys next week.